Hi everyone, I'm Holly with Stella Maurice Quilts, and today we're going to make this quilt Arizona Surprise. The quilt behind me here is called Arizona Surprise, and that's because while working on the Arizona block for our 50 state series, I made a mistake in the measurements for one of the units to make up that block. I was later playing with those units that I had now scrapped and found that by putting them together into their own block, it came out with some really cool designs. So I decided to make a pattern for it. The pattern includes 7 different layout options, and I chose to use this one, which is layout number 1 in the pattern, for today's demonstration. So let's grab a cup of tea and let's get started. To get started with this block, you're going to use your long rectangle of your background and your small square of your print. You're going to draw a line from corner to corner. And we're going to sew the square to the rectangle on the drawn line from corner to corner. Depending on which layout you choose for this block or for this quilt, some of them will require that you need half of your pieces with this angled from the top left to the bottom right and half angled the other direction so that you end up with a right and a left side. For the layout I've chosen, it's not going to matter which way I do it as long as I'm consistent, but I'm still going to go ahead and do half to the right and half to the left. Now that I've sewn that square on, I've gone ahead and trimmed off the excess and I've pressed it back. The next step in this unit is to add some triangles. So we're going to take our larger squares from the print and we're going to cut the 2 of them in half diagonally. And then we're going to add them to the light side, background side of our piece. So it does look really weird at this point. It's okay. It's going to look better as we get things pieced together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip this over so that my right angles are matching and the print is against my background. And then I'm just going to sew down on all of these pieces. And here is what the unit looks like. At this point, we can straighten this edge up by just following the line of the triangle and just trimming off the excess so that we have a triangle block, or we can leave it until later when we'll trim it up at a later point. The next thing we're going to need is our squares, 2 squares for each. And then we're going to go ahead and trim this in half, just like we did the dark triangles from our print. We had 2 squares, so now we have 4 triangles. And we're just going to line up our triangles with the triangle of what has already been pieced together as our unit. And then we'll just go ahead and sew down along that side, and that will prepare our units. And this is what the finished units look like. This one is the left unit and this one is the right unit. Depending on what layout in the quilt you decide to use, the pattern has 7 different choices. You'll either need all 4 for one block of either one, or you'll need 2 of each. For the layout that I've chosen to use today, I just need all 4 of the same. And I'm going to just stack those up and then rotate them around just like a pinwheel. And that's the layout that I've chosen to use for today. So I'm going to go ahead and square all of my units to 5 inches. Then I'm going to sew together all of my blocks. And here's our finished Arizona Surprise quilt. This has a block layout of 5 across and 6 down. Without the sashing, you would probably want 6 across and 7 down just to keep the same size, which measures out at 64 by 74. That includes a small inner border here that's about 1 inch and an outer border of 4 inches. The fun thing about this particular layout is that as the blocks are put together by using a right and a left oriented block, you get these fun secondary patterns of these arrows pointing towards each other. I always love it when a block, when you put it together and you stick it next to another block, you get these fun secondary patterns that pop out. So I hope you enjoy all of this. Make sure you check out the pattern, which has 7 different layout options. And I hope we see you again next time. Until then, cheers and happy quilting.